What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we got more bad news for the Dauntless devs from an article back on January 27th by Austin Woods, coming off of Games Radar. And y'all forgive me, guys, if you hear the blower in the background going. I got some things going. I'm doing this video from work, and with that being said, I'd ask that you smack that like button, subscribe if you hadn't already, and let's talk about the continuing failure and decline of Dauntless. We talked about this back in December, man, when they released that new update that absolutely obliterated the game and whatnot. And yeah, with that being said, and I called it when I said it, this is pretty much the beginning of the end of Phoenix Lab and Dauntless. What this article is talking about, pretty much, as you can see right here in the main, quote from the article. I'm so mad at the overlords I can't even find the words. The Dauntless devs lay off majority of studio 2 years after blockchain company bought it out. Now, I didn't know that Dauntless was up in the air, was for sale a couple years ago or whatnot. I hadn't played the game in quite some time because it hadn't been worth playing. It hadn't been any significant updates, other than what we did get for, for in December. But the article goes on to talk about, and I'm going to try to focus on mainly the key things that they talk about. Pretty much, punctuating years of bad news. Dauntless and Faith Farm developer Phoenix Labs is laying off majority of the studio just 2 years after it was snapped up by blockchain company Forte. The studio's latest wave of layoffs revealed on LinkedIn. We made a tough decision to part ways with the majority of the studios as part of the unfortunate and unnecessary changes of our operation. The post reads, in a nod to players, Phoenix Labs adds, we will share more details in the upcoming weeks about what this means for Dauntless and Faith Farm. For now, our focus is supporting those affected through the transition. And yeah, it goes on to talk about that how Faith Farm, which is I don't know nothing about Faith Farm or whatnot. I ain't never heard of them before this moment. They talk about how Dauntless was overhauled, like we spoke on earlier, and then the Steam numbers were horrible as they were. You know what I'm saying? And it goes on and basically gets into what I will talk about after we go over it. How blatantly not player focused changes in Dauntless earned the ire of ex-Phoenix Labs associate producer Jesse Leigh Gagnon, who was present for the studio's early days and who agreed that the December update gutted the core gameplay and crafting. Now, we all know that when that new update came to Dauntless in December, I did do a stream with it because I was and am to an extent a Dauntless fan. I enjoyed what the game gave me over the years, that it was at least in a decent place and it made sense. For those of you who know, Dauntless pretty much spawned up for most after Monster Hunter. It was like a version of a Monster Hunter style game where you go out, you hunt big monsters, you collect the pieces off those monsters, take them back to the crafter, and you craft pieces of gear for said monster. And you had that look and that style of the monster you kill. You know what I'm saying? But with December's update, they basically took the idea of hunting the behemoths, and just all you had to do was just go out and fight them. You didn't have to focus on a certain part to get the piece you needed to get a certain piece of gear you were grinding for. And yeah, that was pretty much what made the game fun in most people's eyes. The fact that you can go out, key in on a certain behemoth, hunt that behemoth, get the pieces you need from them, make the gear, and continue to grow powerful. With the update they did in December, they completely dumbed it down. They were making that so that nobody had to think about how to play the game. You just wanted to get in and start swinging your weapon, and hopefully you'll get what you need. Nothing was tied to any certain behemoth. Nothing was tied to, a certain type of grind. It just completely, as they say, gutted the game from what made it what it is, So the article then goes on to sum itself up here. with the head title basically saying that, what he say? Following the today's layoff news, ex-Phoenix Labs artist Nicholas Cole, who was among the 140 devs laid off last year after Forte canceled a 3-year project that was weeks away from the reveal, said on Blue Sky, and that looks like the death blow. I am so mad at the overlords, I cannot even find the words. Now, I'm gonna let y'all can go check out the article yourself over on Games Radar and whatnot, but I'm gonna tell you like this. Dauntless ain't got nobody to blame for their failure but themselves. If you sit back and think about everything that I'm sure many of fans was asking for with the game, and many things that they told us themselves that they were going to deliver to the game. We talking about weapons reworks, which we only got maybe 2 or 3 weapons reworks. We never got any new weapons added to the game. The behemoths that did come to the game were spare, and when they did come to the game, most of them either one didn't have any gear that you could get for them that you can go and hunt them for, and 2, they weren't in positions where anybody who wasn't able to go and fight them could fight them. And I'm saying, what I mean by that is, most of the behemoths they added to the game came with an escalation. That made it fun. You go through the damn behemoths and you get to the main behemoth, and boom, you ready to go. Most of the time I jumped on Dauntless, that's what I did, was escalation, because honestly, that was what made the game funner. You had the modifiers, not to mention that you had however you set your class up, you'd go in and you'd wreck. You know what I'm saying? Or you go in and you get your ass kicked. But what they've done over the years, especially in the last 5 years, not listening to players, going silent, not doing anything in the game, promoting dumb shit in the game. And when I mean dumb shit, I'm talking about costume contests and shit over there on Twitter and whatnot. That's all cool and good, engaging the community. You can't engage the community without listening to the community. And that is exactly what they did not do in this game. Now, I don't know exactly, who they trying to point the blame at, but you can only point the blame at yourselves, Phoenix Labs. Because if you underperform, and I said this and about other things, because you can use the examples of Concord and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. If you continue to do things like not make money for these companies, then they're going to cut your ass loose. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. So who can you blame? You can be mad at the overlords, the higher ups, all you want to. But like I said, in the end, game development is an art form. And you guys that are working on these games owe it not just to yourself, but to the fans to deliver on that art form. And if you don't do such things, you can't blame nobody but yourself. That don't mean you go back to the drawing board and just give up. No, you go back to the drawing board and you try again. And you start with listening to what the community has to say. That don't just go for Dauntless. That goes for any game. If you're not giving us what we want, we're not going to give you what you want. AKA, we're not going to pay you for some shit that ain't worth getting paid for. Yeah, the game was free, but your microtransaction system and the way that you tried to put everything behind a paywall, all of you developers, is ridiculous. And it's going to cost y'all in the end. Because nowadays, if you're smart enough, you're not just buying any and every game that comes out. You're picking and choosing what you're willing to spend your money on. And also still gambling on whether you're going to get what you deserve from said game. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. You let me know what y'all think. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the Dauntless is all but done. We just waiting on somebody to go ahead and say, hey, it's over, Dauntless is done, it's going to be off the server, nobody can download and play it again. I don't know. Not hopefully, but maybe that'll happen at the end of the year or whatever. But I'm going to tell you right now, if this game ain't finna go back to where it made it famous, if it ain't going to go back to what brought it to the dance, then yeah, it's just another gaming company that's going down, and it's just another what you call example of what will continue to happen with game developers and their studios if they don't start picking up the pace and start listening to what we want. Guys, let me know what you think down in the comments about Dauntless and Phoenix Labs. Be on their way out the door. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think down low. Like I said, this ain't no video to celebrate them going out of business or whatnot or getting dropped out. These people lost their jobs, and you know, who can you blame? You know what I'm saying? You can't. There's plenty of people you can blame. You can't say, oh, it was the fans, or it was the higher ups, or maybe it was developers themselves. I don't know. So you let me know what y'all think down in the comments, guys. Yeah, that's gonna be it. So y'all have a great one, and I will catch up with y'all on the next one. Y'all be sure to tune in Saturday when I will be streaming a watch party of the Royal Rumble and whatnot. And yeah, y'all have a great weekend, and I will catch up with y'all on the next. Peace.